If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is September the 18th, 2023, and today the topic is spiritual rebellion and a special treat. All right, man. Happy Monday, you guys. Happy Monday. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine. Those that are tuning in live, you already know at least a little bit of the special treat. But for those that are listening to the podcast, I have a very special treat and guest with me this early morning for the juice, y'all. Is none other than my brother from another mother. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. Mr. Kelvin Carter. Good morning, brother.
Good morning. To you and those who are listening, it's early. So
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
We're not trying to rebel, so we are here this morning to get a dose of this morning inspiration.
Hey, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You guys may be wondering because this is the first time ever on the juice that there's been someone outside of me, I believe. Well, you know what? No, NJ has been on the juice, but outside of NJ. So yeah, man, welcome to the juice, man. You know what I'm saying? This is new. This is special for y'all. You know what I'm saying? A guest. Listen, I don't know what this finna be, y'all, because I know y'all kind of used to some type of a flow when it comes here to the juice or GSL or whatever. But again, with my special guest being here and us both embarking on the journey of actually doing the juice this morning, the reason why I had to say a special treat is because I have no idea what my brother studied and what the Lord has led to him today and things of that nature. But I believe that we're going to try to take some time to talk about everything. So, hey, man, again, I don't know what to expect, but hey, man, it's a special episode. So if it's a little bit longer than what I usually do, I mean, have us some grace or whatever the case may be. Just go ahead and get your double dose. Look, your double dose of inspiration.
Come on, double dose.
Get your double dose of inspiration today, all right? But well, yeah, man, good morning, brother. Good morning. I mean, just in case the people don't know you, I mean, they should if they ever watched anything on GSL or listened to anything on GSL. But for those that may not know and things like that, is there any thing that you want to share about yourself and whatnot before we get going this morning?
So if you don't know who I am, I do feel what Miracle said. If you've been watching a lot of the other stuff that she's been putting out, I'm a face that's here and there. But for those who don't know me, like she said, my name is Kelvin Carter. Based in Atlanta, I do a lot of different things. So, I can host. I'm an actor. I feel at times I'm a mentor for a lot of people, whether it be for business, spiritual things, relationships. I do a little bit of everything. So I believe if I don't know how to do it, I will find out how to do it. So, a quick bio of myself.
Okay. And y'all know that I refer to this gentleman a lot, okay? Of course, I call him my brother. He's my other half in film. He's so much more. A friend, a confidant, a financial advisor. All those, if you've heard me say any of those things, I'm referring to this gentleman right here. So, yes, welcome again, brother. Thank you for coming in this morning. I know this ain't the norm for you. But I guess the Lord put on your own heart and mind to be here. So tell the people why you hit this morning.
I will. Okay, so yes. We're talking like as usual, like always, and I was like, "What time you get up for the juice?" And I was like, I think I want to join you one morning. She's like, what? It's like, yeah, I think I want to join you one morning. And the one morning, I think that was like, was that like a week ago?
Yeah, I think it was at the subscriber celebration. This is also the gentleman that hosted the subscriber celebration, y'all. Just so y'all put 2 and 2 and 3 and 3 together.
And so I was like, okay. I was like, I'm gonna let you know. And so last night, I was like, yeah, sometime this week, I want to be on the show. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Maybe tomorrow. I feel like I'm being led to come tomorrow. So that's how or why I'm here.
Yeah.
And so also for those who have not purchased your book yet, for those who can't see, it's The Juice, the 30-day Bible study journal. And so I will actually be giving my real-time experience actually using the journal this morning.
Yes. Okay. Well, listen. You gotta look a hands-on review, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect all of this, but to God be the glory. Yeah, I was gonna mention that I believe that it's your first day using the juice, but by all means, I try my best every day to encourage and inspire the people to do what I'm doing. Like, yeah, I'm sharing, and I hope y'all are checking these things out and reading these stuff for this stuff for yourself. But ultimately, I am challenging people to do what I'm doing. Like, get into your word every day, see what the Lord has to show you every day, and just start there. And you never know what else the Lord's going to do, because again, GSL is a perfect example of what the God has done with me, for me, and through me, starting with the juice, ironically, because I started with doing the daily inspiration. This thing, I know every other goal, vision, and thing that God had put on my heart forever throughout my life has been like, it was like the first domino, doing the juice and saying, okay, I'm going to get up every morning and share daily inspiration. I'm going to be intentional about doing Bible study. All those different type of things has led to where you guys see GSL is today, where you guys see me today, and all those different things. So I ain't just out here just trying to sell the journal. I would literally give you the journal if it will help you do that. You know what I'm saying? If it will help you get to that next level, because the more I do it, the more I see it's been life-changing for me. Like, and this is the crazy thing for me. And I'm gonna go on hush, because I'm gonna let you say what you got to say. Because I know my mama tell me all the time. She's like, let Calvin talk. So ever since then, I'm like, Lord, am I? Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. See, now I don't forgot what all I was going to say. Trying to but basically, I guess ultimately, like I said, I just wanted to, I'm challenging you all to do this as well, because at the end of the day, I do believe the more that I've been doing it, the more that I see that not only has it been life changing for me, it's become a new routine, a new thing for me to do in my life now, to literally be intentional about waking up and doing this. But just understanding that God really be speaking every day to me. Like, he really has something for me to share with y'all every day. And that's been mind-blowing by itself. And then not only, every now and then people will tell me, hey, what you shared touched me, or what you said I was thinking about, and then, it just goes beyond that. And so I'm just saying, it's equal opportunity. You know what I'm saying? God can speak to you as well. It ain't, look, the veil has been torn. Nobody has to go in between you and the Lord. I mean, I guess outside of Christ, according to the Bible. But I mean, even he is your direct connection, from my understanding and studies and whatnot. So, anywho. So, brother, so your first day with the Jews, you did day one. What you got to say about the Jews? Oh Lord, I didn't look live review. Ooh, do I want to close my ears? Ooh Lord.
So, so I prepared myself, in a sense of, getting the, well, I'm gonna do a miracle. I don't want to misquote nothing. So the Soul Space app. So downloaded that last night when I said I prepared, and so this morning I was like, oh, let me go to this app. Let it, guide me into a meditation. Listen to what it has to say. And then, at the end of it, it said, write down your thoughts. And I was like, oh, this is where I pull out my book. All right. So got my book, started writing. So the first thing I wrote was the scripture down that was that the Soul Source app gave. Not saying that it was my scripture for the day, but let me start off there. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me now think of some words and some things that I could jot down, whatever that came to mind. And so I wrote down some words. So peace was one of my words. Then I had a whole phrase that came after that. What God has for me is for me. Then burdens, love, gifts. And then when I was trying to type out Luke, we'll talk about Luke later, but when I was trying to type out Luke, I ended up typing out luck. So I was like, let me write that down. If you're new to this process, you're going to be like, and she even says, if it's whatever comes to mind, even if it's silly, write it down. So whatever came, I just wrote down. And so I would say don't feel pressured of what thoughts you've written down. That's just a place to start. And then as you kind of go deeper, as you go deeper, you'll find the rest of and I'll talk about the second page later, but you'll find what you need to fill out the next page. So, don't grace, like she said earlier, give yourself grace as you're going through the process.
Hey, well, look, to God be the glory. All right. So, easy to understand. Sound like you had so how was it because I know, again, waking up early and stuff like it, which no one has to wake up early to do the juice. Y'all can do the juice at whatever time y'all want to do it, for the record. Like, I wake up early because I imagine this to be a morning show, quote unquote. I guess God was challenging me to get up early, but y'all can do this on your lunch break. Y'all can do this whenever, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, I just say just take some time out to do it. That's all I say. But with you doing this, like, how do you feel like do you feel like this would be something that you probably could or should incorporate more? Like, from the experience, like, do you feel like the experience was, and no pressure if you like, nah, I don't feel like I want to do this no more. Be honest. You know what I mean? Like, or do you feel like by doing it, you're like, you know what, this helped me maybe think about some different things, or I don't know, like I'm on a hush. I'm trying to ask the question, but I think you know what I'm asking. So
I got you. So she did say that of course that you don't have to wake up super early. So I can see this being something that I can incorporate and do the 30 days. Of course, at a much later time. But yes, absolutely. I could see. And I mean, as we go over the second page, I'll tell you what my process was, and because I'm a very analytical person, and so when I said give yourself grace, I had to give myself grace this morning because I'm like, oh well, you know what direction I want to go in, or how do I find my topic, and you know.
Lord, to give it to you.
Yeah, but it's 4:00 and 4 something in the morning.
That too. Yeah, that too.
It's 4 something in the morning. Write down what you can write down.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's the crazy thing too. Like sometimes even when I'm writing down the Bible verses and stuff like that, I'm like, some of it seems like it's so random. You're like, how's this even gonna make sense? And then next thing I know, I'm going live. I read the verses, and this thing, it just all comes together in this beautiful way where I'm like, y'all, this ain't nothing but the Lord at the end of the day. Because all I did was write down some verses, and outside of that, whatever else I share on the juice, if I didn't write it down in regards to like a quote or verse, it's whatever the Lord's just saying through me at that time. So I mean, I don't know if you're gonna embark on sharing as well, like, cause I don't know, but I'm just saying, don't feel the pressure in regards to like, feeling like you gotta have the perfect words. Like in the beginning, when I first was doing it, I think the very first episode I did kind of like write out whatever it was that I felt led to say, that first episode maybe. But after I've been doing it for like, I mean, I've been doing about 3 years now. So now I literally just write down the Bible verses and then just say whatever the Lord say through me in the morning. So, and sometimes I'll be like, "Ooh, Lord, you said." So anyway, speaking of, real quick, let me go ahead and shout out my mama is tuning in right now, y'all. She said, "Good morning, sister and bruh. This tag team whom others can't touch. Thank God in my she said, than God in my humble opinion." Well, good morning, Mama. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Good morning.
Look, your son decided to come on and bless us this morning. Well, usually I would share with you guys like my weekend and all that type of stuff. Maybe I'll share that type of stuff in the after show, or whatever. We can go ahead and get into like the juice, because I know there's things that God has given me, and I'm sure there's things that God has given my brother. And listen, we already almost 20 minutes in, so let's go on and get into some juice for these good folks. You know what I'm saying? Even though you got the people tuning in, so look, we need your shining face in the morning time, because people's tuning in this morning live with us.
What? So, look, am I getting hired for a morning show?
Well, look at hey, listen, your gifts will make room for you.
Come on now. Is that the verse for the dungeon?
No, actually. So, okay, y'all may be wondering how I got to spiritual rebellion. Okay, well, long story short, I think there was a few things that inspired the conversation. I would say one thing might have been like the movie I watched last night. I watched this movie. I think it's called Chevalier. Have y'all heard of that one? I don't know if have you heard of that, brother? It's about this African American, I guess. He was a violinist or whatever, but also I guess he was a composer and all that different type of stuff. I'm about to be working on an opera, so it stood out to me last night. I was,
that was the black guy that plays the violin or something like that.
Yeah,
I did see that.
Oh, you seen the movie? Or did you see the previews?
I saw the movie.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I watched it last night. And so, obviously, the French Revolution is something that was featured in it. So I don't know if the Lord just kept that on my mind when I woke up. It was like rebels. I'm like, huh? Like, okay, But yeah, the word rebels came into my heart and mind. I want to say it was before I did prayer meditation. So before I listened to the Soul Space app, I say the word rebel came in my heart and mind. And I just kind of tucked it in the back, like, okay, I'll look into it later. Listen to the prayer meditation. I think I fell asleep on it the first time. I listened to it again. And then by the time I got to the end of it, I felt like it also correlated with this conversation of rebellion. And not exactly, but I'm saying something about it reminded me of the word rebel or whatever. When I listened to the Safe Space app this morning, I was like, okay, Lord, I'm looking it up. I'm gonna look it up. And so that's what I did. Y'all know where I usually go. I went and put in rebels. I think I put in rebellion, as well as then ultimately when spiritual rebellion came into my heart and mind, I looked up all three of those things at openbible.info. So y'all know that's where I usually go and look up verses. I also went to gotquestions.org and read a couple of articles there. So yeah, I guess I'll stop there before I get into the juice. Let's hear how brother came across his verses. I mean, well, you already kind of shared though, right? You talked about the different things that came to you, and then so okay, but you didn't say how you started looking up verses. So how did you, from the things that came to you, what narrowed down, like, what made you narrow down the things that came to you, and then start looking up verses centered around those things?
So I told you all the words that came to mind, and then because it's my first time, I gave myself grace, right? So I used the Bible app, and I just started with the verse of the day.
Oh, okay. Well, don't say don't. I usually get in the verse of the day to end.
Okay, so so I won't give my verse of the day, but I can talk around it.
Okay, I think they might be the same. I would think that, because I use the Bible app as well, and that's where I get the Bible verse of the day from.
Oh, okay. So well, that's what I use. Nice. Hopefully they're the same. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they would switch it up for people. But I mean, we can always. It's not a big deal if you want to read it or talk about it. Do you want to?
So.
I mean, if you feel like it's an intricate part of your journey, then sure, by all means.
I mean, it definitely is, because that's what I did all of my research around. Now, I could talk about mine without giving the verse of the day until the end of the show. But that is how I did start my research, though, with the Bible verse of the day.
Okay. So now y'all know how we both got to the verses and things like that. Hopefully, again, these things are encouraging you and inspiring you on how you can do it. Like, at the end of the day, it's no particular, like, you gotta do it this kind of way. It's, let the Lord lead you. That's what I say. Let the Lord lead you. So, one of the first things I did outside of looking up verses and whatnot was starting to define the words. So I looked up the word rebel. It says a person who rises in opposition or armed resistance against an established government or ruler. Y'all know over the past few weeks, man, I keep having these things where I'm like, y'all just, I've been talking about like order. I've been talking about all this different type of stuff, and I'm like, Lord, where you got me talking about all this? But so once again, I don't know if all of these is warnings for us. I mean, I don't know, but that's what a rebel is. And then I went to gotquestions.org and was looking up, articles centered around rebellion and things of that nature. And so one of them was called "What Does the Bible Say About Rebellion?" So there was plenty in there that I felt like was beautiful. I know at some point it started to touch on Saul, the Saul that was in Samuel, King Saul. And one of the verses stood out to me. So I usually at this point I start sharing verses, brother. I don't know how much he tunes in to the juice. So I'm trying to explain to him and to y'all. So So I mean, I guess we can keep tag teaming and you can share some verses. I don't know how this was not planned, y'all, fully. So it's not planned out. So we're just gonna let the Lord lead. So I'm just gonna read this first verse that that stood out to me as I was doing this and writing the verses down. So 1 Samuel 15:23, it says, "For rebellion is as the sin of divination, and presumption is as iniquity, and idolatry, because you have rejected the Lord. He has also rejected you from being king." Ooh. I usually call stuff like this the Pope. This might be something we don't like today. I mean, I don't know how that makes people feel, like to know that God can and will reject you, and things of that nature. But as I was going deeper this morning, it was interesting. Like, the word iniquity stood out to me this morning. So I looked that up, and it said immoral or grossly unfair behavior. And then the word grossly stood out to me in that definition. I'm like, Lord, why are we going deeper about this? But anywho, I said, so grossly means in a very obvious and unacceptable manner, flagrantly. And then that's when flagrantly stood out to me, and I looked up that. It says in a conspicuously or obviously offensive way. And then after I looked up all of that, then I saw down at the bottom on Google it was saying, what is the biblical definition of iniquity? I said, you know what, I guess I should have just went there first. That one says, in violation of the right or duty that mankind has, I believe. Y'all can go confirm that yourself, but that's my handwriting. Anyway, under objection to do. So basically what's standing out to me, I guess the most in regards to looking up all these definitions, is that this obviously rebellion to God is this it's iniquity. It's like flagrant disrespect, or that like blatant disrespect. Like that's like, I guess, spitting in the face of God, or things like that. Like I don't know what will help us understand like what this is like to God, but obviously it's very offensive. It's beyond like just me offending my brother or something like that, So but anywho, like, we can let that marinate for a bit. That's my little definitions. So I pause and see. I don't know. Do you have anything to share, or if you want to, share what the Lord was sending you after the verse? Feel free to.
Well, it is interesting. I'm receiving as we're in this moment, and when I say that, I feel like I feel like, and I feel like I don't want to give it away too soon, because it's good. All right, so I feel like the purpose of this show is, you're gonna be talking about spiritual rebellion, and then I'm gonna be able to follow up. But let's talk about my research. So I used the verse of the day, and I started out there, and then I was like, oh, well, let me find the supporting verses. So in my research, and it's crazy that, rebellion, right? It's one of them, because I found myself in 2 Chronicles 15, verse 2, which is basically was saying how, well, if you kind of read a portion of it, it would tell you that the people of Israel was without God for a long time. And the word says without the true God for a long time. And so if you think about, well, how did y'all get to a place where y'all was without God? And it had to be rebellion. Just had to be. And I was like, wow. That's why I was sitting here. I'm like, okay, it's all gonna tie in, y'all. I promise you. So, and so that was one of the verses. I'm like, okay, so let me look, and that was like the last verse that I got to. And then I was looking at some of these other verses, right? So, remember I said I was typing in Luke, and I typed in luck. So in Luke, there was Luke 11. And I just put 8 and 9. It's really 9 that was my supporting verse, but sometimes you need one or the other. You either need the verse before or the verse after to make it make sense for you. And it says, Luke 11, 8 and 9. I tell you, even though he will not get up and give you the bread because of friendship, yet because of your shameless audacity, he will surely get up and give you as much as you need. So I say to you, ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you. And I was like, And so, and that was just one. Like I have some more supporting verses, but I think as we go deeper, y'all gonna see how the.
Listen, I told man, look, I'm gonna stop you right there. No, because I told the man last night. I said it's gonna be crazy if God give us both something that's gonna correlate, and what you saying sound like it go with what I was receiving next. So let me go ahead and share where I went. So after that, right, I went in back to GodQuestions.org and I started reading the article I just told y'all about rebellion and everything like that. And I felt led to start writing out the things that stood out to me. So I guess here's the answers to your questions, brother, how they got separated from God and whatnot. Here it is. Okay. So it says rebellion begins in the heart. Rebellion against God's authority was humanity's first sin and continues to be our downfall. I'm just writing down the things that were standing out to me in the article, y'all. Now listen, I promise you, me and this gentleman did not talk. Okay, here we go. It is the root of all sin. The rebellion is the root of all sin. It also says here, or what another thing that stood out to me was saying, when God gave the Israelites the law, he was teaching the world that there was a chain of commands, which that stood out to me when I was writing that down, because y'all know, again, I was just telling y'all about hierarchy last week. I was telling y'all about order and all that before. So all of that was standing out like, okay, Lord, well, you done told us again that there's a chain of commands. Then what also stood out was saying we have free will and freedom to choose, but his law still prevails and consequences follow. So we can choose all day what you want to do, and you can do whatever you want to do technically, but that doesn't change the consequences that's going to come from that, because the laws are already in place, basically, is what I was receiving with that. Then what stood out to me is the part, and it's all separated and it has more to expound upon these things, but it was talking about how civilization, home, and the church all have these these order systems, and the reason why we see the issues that we see in each thing, civilization, the home, and church, is the rebellion and being out of order. So I'm gonna stop right there. So that's why. You said, why did they have that time without the Lord? Well, they sounds like they was out of order. They wasn't doing things well. If you quiet, I can go on and share this next verse. or you got something to add right there.
I mean, look, I'm just here experiencing the juice, right? So, yeah, you can. I mean, if you want to go ahead and give the verse, sure, because my portion of Go Deeper and the juice and my the pulp all pertains to the verse of the day.
Ah, okay, I see. Okay. Well, so I felt like at some point I was feeling like, with all the negative stuff I was seeing, and I was like, Lord, this is kind of calling us out, whatever the case is. Is there any good news for us today or no? So I felt like he gave me a letter of sorts, like some information. Sometimes when I read verses, even though they can be in totally different places, when I write them down, they sound like one message. I don't know if you've ever encountered that or whatever, but I feel like these next couple of verses is like back to back. So I could read them back to back and see if that sounds like a full message to y'all. But anyway, one of the verses is Isaiah 30:1. It says, "O stubborn children, declares the yeah, or us. I mean, because here's another thing. This is a little side note. Basically, as I was doing all this, one of the things that was standing out to me is because the studies can lead, this whole conversation about rebellion can talk about so much, especially with the Bible. I mean, it's talking about Satan's rebellion, it's talking about our rebellion, and all that. So you can go real deep in regards to this. But anyway, and so also stubborn children, declares the Lord, who carry out a plan but not mine, and who make an alliance but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. The next verse that stood out to me was John 8:44. It says, you are oh Lord, well, you are of your father the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in truth, because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar, the father of lies. I know that can be we might not want to hear that, y'all, but I think we got some good news, so hold on. Ephesians 5:6, it says, let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of these things the wrath of God comes upon the sons of disobedience. I'm just gonna keep going because I feel like, again, this is a whole message here. So Jeremiah 33:8, even though I went deeper, y'all can see all the go deeper verses in the go deeper section, but it says, and I will cleanse them from all their iniquity, whereby they have sinned against me, and I will pardon all their iniquities whereby they have sinned, and whereby they have they have something. See, here I go. They have something. Sorry, y'all can go look up that word yourself, but it says against me at the end. So I feel like overall, like, I know that sounds bad, right, to be talking about this rebellious people, and we feel like, man, it could be me, I'm rebelling, or whatever the case may be. But there is hope, you know what I'm saying? There is good news at the end of the day, because I mean, it's not good news if you're gonna constantly rebel. Let's just go ahead and put that on the table. But if you are someone that is, for example, maybe this is convicting you right now, or maybe you're like, you know what, maybe I need to get better in this area, or whatever the case may be, the good news is, I feel like, is what was being said in Jeremiah, because he's saying that, I will cleanse you, from the iniquities and the sins against me. I will pardon, all those different things. And obviously we know that he did that through Christ. So it's already done. So that's another thing too. You got to just accept it, really. But yeah, like, so though, I mean, again, there's other verses and whatnot that I was reading and everything, but yeah, those were the words that I felt led to write down and share. I hope, I don't know how y'all, I mean, I'm gonna pause.
Interesting. So that's your verse of the day. Oh, okay.
That was my go deeper. No, that was my go deeper. That was me going deeper into the study of rebellion and all those different things. Yeah, I mean, see, I feel like I didn't necessarily explain everything the way I usually would, because I'm trying to leave room, brother. I don't want to,
Look, that's all right. Look, we are here for the ride. Interesting. I'm just, so if you see me and you hear my excitement, I'm just waiting, because I can't say much until we get to the verse of the day.
Oh Lord, because okay, let me hush, dude. Like, we can go ahead and share the verse of the day, because I mean, y'all know, like I said, it's usually something I share at the end. But let's go ahead and share the verse of the day. Would you like to read it for us today? Like, okay, let's confirm that it's both the same. Is it Psalm 34, 4 and 5?
Yes.
Okay, so feel free,
Yes.
brother. Go ahead and read the verse of the day. This is the verse of the day, everybody.
What?
Yeah.
You know me to read? No. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't write it down? I wrote it down if we need it.
I can get to it. All right, so this is Psalms 34, verse 4 and 5, and it reads, I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame.
Now, I wasn't thinking about how like when I wrote it down this morning, I was like, maybe it correlates, but maybe not. But I feel like it already correlates with some of the things I was saying in regards to there's hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are, what I'm receiving when you just read here is like, if you are seeking the Lord, understand that he's hearing you, right? And he will deliver you. And yeah, you won't be ashamed by doing that, you know? Instead of rebelling, seek him. Instead of rebelling, you know, I don't know. I'm on hush. Like I feel like that. Don't rebel. Just come on to him. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I don't know. What did you receive this morning, brother?
So with my words that I mentioned earlier, and then using my Bible verse, for us babies of the Juice, the 30-day Bible study journal, we just starting with the verse of the day. So my go deeper was, okay, so what's happening here? And then my Bible app was telling me that, which is weird because I was like, it said, David pretended to be insane to basically get away from the king. And so what I was receiving from this is, and that's why I say for me, it's tied together. You were talking about the spiritual rebellion, and then everything that came to me was about the provider, right? So we're rebelling, and then what we find is that we find ourselves in trouble doing rebellion. So that relates back to the people of Israel who were without God for some time. They needed to go back to the provider. So the provider is my topic, right? That's what I wrote down. So that's why I was like, I'm over here now because it's all tying together. And so then I was like, well, it's about, David praises God for deliverance from a life-threatening situation. And so that's why I was diving deeper. And I was like, okay. Now it's like, now the juice part. Let me go down to the juice part, because now I need to look at some things that are being revealed from all of these verses that I'm going to. And so we go back to the provider in mind. We have, I said, well, King David played crazy, and so that he won't be recognized well, this was before he was king. So David played crazy, so he wouldn't be recognized by the king. But then, I'm going to hop to the Pope, and I'm going to come back to the Jews. And I was like, well, how did David hear from God? And did he misinterpret the instructions of God? Because I was like, well, what made him want to play crazy? So, and that had me thinking, I was like, well, sometimes you got to do some crazy things, God, right? So then, in all of the supporting verses, we're saying, keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking, be consistent, be persistent, be resilient. And so it's like, okay, so you find yourself in this place of rebellion, then you need to go back to the provider for for saving. And then we discovered what she was providing is like, you can get back in God's good graces. And in the time of trouble, right? In the time of burden, which was one of my words, you can get back to that place. But in order to do these things, you have to keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking, be persistent, be consistent, be resilient in all that you're doing, so that you can continue to stay connected to the provider, because he saves us. He reaches down, and just like for David, he was like, and this is just me like imagining being in a situation like, well, God, if this king recognizes who I am in this place, my life ends today. And I can just imagine God like, look, well, you're going to have to do something outside of the box. You know, if you get down and just pray here, and you're stable and you're still, they may recognize you. Sir, you need to do what you need to do to get out this building. So they was like, all right, well, I'm going to play crazy. I'm going to be insane. Throw some stuff, act the fool. And it made them throw him out. So he was able to get away. And so, so I'm just in awe right now, because I promise you what she said was the truth. We did not. She was like, brother, you do your own studying. I'm going to do my own studying. And we're going to get on here and discuss.
So a few things. My first thoughts was to just say, get off my phone. Because I'm like, y'all, you cannot make this type of stuff up. And this is just the divine work of God. And at the end of the day, that's why it's very, very hard. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Now, I'm human. You know what I mean? And I be debating every now and then, again or whatnot, and be like, is the Bible true? I ask all the questions any other human asks, right? But at the end of the day, I think because there's been just too many miracles, right? Miraculous things in my life, right? Such as this moment right now. It'd be just very, and then not only that, but then my own like experience with God, to where like, a song just makes me think about his goodness and cry, or whatever the case may be, where it's like, and I know what he's done in my life at the end of the day, and nobody can take that away. That's my testimony at the end of the day. So, I mean, it's just very hard for me to deny God. I mean, I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm perfect or nothing like that. And obviously, y'all know it was a whole process for me. I done wrote all about it. I tell y'all about it every day. Okay? So I'm not sitting here trying to act like, by any means, that I'm out here like I've arrived and I know everything or something like that. But all I'm saying is God has been so good at the end of the day. And the only reason y'all are seeing me today, and y'all see whatever fruits y'all see or whatever the case may be, is because I have, tried my best to surrender. I'm not going to sit here and say that, yes, I have surrendered. I'm about to, but no, I'm going to say I try my best, right, to surrender every day to his will, to his way, and what he wants me to do. And so this moment right here, I know we was joking, but I'm like, I don't know. I mean, brother, I don't know if you need to set some alarms. I don't know what, I don't know, because this is just too good. Because like, again, yeah. And on one hand, I was like, when God gives you something sometimes, and then you feel like it might be rebuked, right? You feel like it might be, man, this might not be good news. People don't want to hear this. You know what I mean? But then you got to be obedient and just say whatever he tell you to say, right? And so I know people can get on here and they be like, oh, Miracle's talking about rebellion, like she ain't rebel, and stuff like that. Maybe they can get offended by this thing that talking about, rebelling against God is like, that's it's our main issue, just across the board. All humans, we all do it. It's like in our heart to rebel. And because we are that way, that's why what Christ did is so phenomenal, because he continues to love and continues to have that grace and mercy and provide a way regardless of all the things we do and how long it takes or whatever the case may be. And it's just like, and I don't think we understand that fully because we know we wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, you wouldn't give people too much grace. You know what I mean? I try my best to be nice about a lot of things, or, you know, handle it with grace, whatever the case may be. And I've definitely have heard throughout my life, oh, you being too nice, you showing too much love or whatever. But then you read the Bible and it's telling you that to do that all the time. You know what I mean? And then you think about the fact that God does that all the time with me. You know what I mean? So who am I to sit here and point the finger at someone else and say, you did me wrong, whatever, when I do God wrong every day and all day? Like, you know, like, humble yourself. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I think it's great, right, that I received that half in regards to addressing the rebellion, helping us understand, like, you know, where it comes from, why we see the issues of life. We see issues in our community, our home, churches, all this type of stuff, because we're out of order, because we were rebelling against God. We don't want to do it his way, and all those different type of things. But my brother here is taking us back to the beginning, you know, going back to our first love, pointing to in the direction of where to go, because he received the word about the provider and everything of that nature. Like, honestly, if we don't even say nothing else, y'all got the juice. Like, y'all got a double dose of inspiration in regards to both things. You know, I don't know where you are in life, right? If you are in a state of rebellion or if you are seeking the provider, but just know he's always there, and that, like, you know, even in the midst of your disobedience, like, if you got another day, if you were listening to the sound of our voice today, then, I mean, you got another chance to get on the good foot, as they say. Like, you know, so I really don't have, I mean, there was some other things, because again, I feel like this thing was just too good in regards to, like, he really gave us two things that really went together and really was like, so the answer to the question of the rebellion is to go to the provider. All right, well, listen, and look, and that's the juice. And y'all got your Bible verse of today. So I'm gonna let my brother here, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let my brother here, you know, I guess wrap things up for us. Is there anything else you would like to share with the people while we're recording the podcast version of this double dose of inspiration?
I would say that, and I know that not only providing you all the juice, but we're talking about the juice, your 30-day Bible study journal. You know, I got this. Yeah, I'm so used to hosting now. But when you get your journal, like I was saying, you know, we said give yourself grace. There is an additional like 2 pages after, where if you run out of space, you need to write some more notes, things of that nature. You do have those additional 2 pages to jot down information for your day. So I did not get a chance to use those additional pages, and so I'm just going to give you some advice with those additional. So if you're someone like me, you're starting out and you don't have much to write, maybe you may have some thoughts or some moments that happen throughout the day. Maybe you can reflect at the end of your day and use those pages to reflect the end of your day after you received your word for the day. So just some thoughts I wanted to provide the good peoples, and also you know, this was nice. It was really you know, a nice episode, as well as a good experience to start the journaling process. So day 1, y'all.
Look, well, we got to check in with him on day 30 and see. look, we gonna help hold brother accountable.
Yes.
So look, we gotta get back. I'm gonna reach out to him in 30 days and see how the rest of the journey went. I don't know if he gonna come back, but He's welcome to. You're welcome to come back. But if not, you can at least give me the update, and I'll try to tell the people and whatnot. I know we can sit here and go deeper with all of this, because I was just sitting here thinking about the fact that I got King Saul's part in the rebellion, and you got David's part in the. Listen, bro, we could go on and on with this, man, because the Lord done did something today. But is there any other things you want to say before we log off the podcast version?
Yes, I guess I will close with, again, give yourself grace. Like Miracle was stating, we all have rebelled, are rebelling, are still rebelling. So you're somewhere on the spectrum. But give yourself grace, and at some point you will find yourself back needing the provider who saves us. And so when you do get to that place of reaching back out, be consistent, be persistent, be resilient in your walk, in your journey. And while you're there, keep asking, keep seeking, and keep knocking. And as the word says, that if you're doing these things, the doors will be open unto you, which means he's going to provide, right? He's going to provide. But there, something in the verse said, one of the verses says, these are the rules. And in order to get to the place to where you're now receiving your gift. Yeah, all of my words that I wrote down is just coming up. All of your gifts will be given to you. The desires of your heart, but you have to, there's order. You have to come in and follow the rules, right? The commandments.
Obedience.
Well, listen. That's all I have.
All right, y'all. Well, I got to let the podcast people go. But thank you all so much for listening. I hope that you all enjoyed this conversation. Thank you again to my brother from another mother joining us this morning. It was truly a treat. I hope that you all enjoyed it. I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow, the Lord's will. Bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.